welcome back to my channel. In this video we are going to be making beef tips. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is buy you some Angus beef tips. I got these from Sam's Club. It was a big pack, like 3 pounds, and it was about $18. So my next step is I'm going to go ahead and start placing my meat into this strainer so I can go ahead and rinse it off. Normally I use either lime or I use like half water and half white distilled vinegar to rinse off my meat, but I didn't have either of those. I forgot to pick them up from the store, so I am just going to rinse it off with water. So now I'm just moving my meat over to a big mixing bowl so that I can mix my seasonings and everything together in one big bowl. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this clip up, but the seasonings I am adding is garlic powder, seasoned pepper. I'm also adding in a little bit of the Lawry's Total Seasoning. This is my favorite seasoning so far. Also a little bit of Goya adobo seasoning, as well as some Creole seasoning. I did not do any measurements. So after you have added all of your seasonings that you are going to use, you are going to massage that meat. Okay, you're going to have to get your hands a little dirty. This is not no time for you to be scared of your meat. Massage it. Make sure you get every nook and cranny. Make sure that you are getting seasoning on every single piece of meat. So what I'm doing in this next clip is I'm just taking some kitchen shears and I'm just showing you guys a quick example of how you can cut your chunks of meat up into smaller chunks. Just take you some good kitchen shears. You can cut it up into smaller pieces. I typically do this on like smaller packs of meat I buy, but since this was a big family size pack and I was running late cooking dinner, I did not want to do this on every single piece. But just kind of give you guys a generalized idea. It just helps the beef tips to cook quicker, and you won't have such big chunks of meat in for your beef tips.
I'll take some.
So now I'm just taking some of my pure olive oil and I'm going to be placing it into my skillet so that I can brown my meat. So now I'm going to be taking some tongs and I'm just going to be adding the meat to my skillet. And once my skillet is hot, and then I am just going to let it brown on each side. You're not cooking the meat all the way on top of the stove. You're just browning it. And since this was such a big pack of meat, I had to work in sections. So So after you have browned your meat in your skillet, you're going to go ahead and place it into the Instant Pot. Now, I believe later on in this recipe, something was happening to my Instant Pot, so I ended up putting everything on top of the stove and then switching it back over to my Instant Pot, but you guys will see that in later clips. But my Instant Pot is like a 7-in-1 Instant Pot, so pretty much I can saute. I could do crock pot, slow cook on this as well, stews, soup. It could do everything. But I do not like to brown my meat in the Instant Pot because every time I brown my meat in the Instant Pot, it just does not go right. So next you want to go ahead and add some beef broth. So I also didn't measure most of these ingredients that I added, so I apologize. This was already a half opened thing of beef broth, so I would say this is about maybe a cup. I don't know, y'all. I just used half of the container of beef broth that I had left. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and add the meat to the Instant Pot. So now you're just gonna give that a good stir to just get it deep in that beef broth. Now I'm gonna add in just a little bit more beef broth just to cover up the meat just a little bit more. All right, so we're gonna be adding a can, 2 cans of cream of mushroom soup. I'm also going to be adding some McCormick brown gravy. I believe I used 2 packs. And I also used 2 packs of the onion soup mix. And I just stirred everything together. So after you have added everything together, you want it to look like that consistency right there. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the lid onto the Instant Pot. I should have wrote down like the actual directions, like how long I cooked this for, but I forgot. But I do believe that I did cook this on 40 minutes on pressure cook, and I had it on high. All right, y'all. So I had to take I started cooking it off in the Instant Pot. I kept getting a food burn message on the Instant Pot, so I got it like twice. So I went ahead and just took everything out of the Instant Pot, put it into a big pot, slow cooked it on the stove for about an hour, and then I placed it back into the Instant Pot. And this is the finishing touch of me placing it back into the Instant Pot to cook for another 20 minutes on high, and it was still on pressure cook mode. So we don't want it to be that soupy consistency, but it is smelling good in the kitchen. I'm gonna go ahead and add in some cornstarch. I have already mixed it per the directions on the back of the cornstarch container, and we're just gonna add this to the mixture, our beef tip mixture, until it is the consistency that we want, which is almost kind of like a stew-like consistency. You guys, look at how yummy those beef tips look. They are very tender. They were very seasoned. I did make them over rice. I did make a detailed description on how I make my rice in my last Cook With Me video. I did pair this dish with rice, cabbage, cornbread, and homemade mac and cheese. So there you have it. That is how I make my beef tips and gravy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.